Oh, geez, I was going to bed looking like Splash, but here we are. Man, okay, I posted some military crap earlier, and it made me think of a story, and I typed it out, but it's not going to get the same effect that it would of me telling you my basic training story, okay? So, the horror stories of basic training in the Army. They have this tornado session. Drill sergeants go in there and freaking destroy the whole barracks. Like, they freaking rip the lockers down, flip bunks. Nobody knows whose shoes their boots, their clothing, anything. Well, for lack of better words, beep beep, smart ass. Being the smart ass artist that I am. So, you have an A and a B bag. You have duffel bags and all that crap. So, duffel bag. So, in my head, I'm like, I'm gonna win this time. In my head, I was winning, right? Well, I eventually paid for it, but, anyways. So, this is like week 1 or week 2, and everybody's running around with their heads cut off and all this crap. I'm like, I've got 2 combination locks. I have a bunk bed, and at the very bottom of the bunk bed, there's wire. Like, it's metal. It's like a weaved wire. It's very thin. But it's just thick enough to where you can stick a lock over it. So I'm like, I was like, this could fix all my problems. I didn't share my idea with anybody. So before we even left, I went in there and secured both my duffel bags with all my shit in my duffel bags. So I took those locks, I secured them with the locks. So there's a loop in the duffel bag at the top, the metal piece. Secured it through that, and then through the bottom of my freaking bunk. So there's no way you can get my crap and freaking throw it around the barracks. I find such joy in that today. I don't know why. I'm proud of myself because normal people don't think like that. Instead of thinking in 2D, I was like in 5D. I was like, okay, how do I make this not happen? Like, I don't have to look for my shit later. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to piss off the drill sergeants even more. Anyways, we get through doing whatever we're doing. I don't even remember this point. We come back to the barracks. The whole place is annihilated. There's wall lockers in the floor. Everything. Everybody's shit's trashed. Everybody's bunks are flipped over. There's boots. There's freaking uniforms. Everything's just like in a pile. It looks like a freaking garbage truck exploded. And I'm like, I look at where my shit's at. And so, okay, well, this is where the drill sergeants thought they were going to win, but they still lost. So, my bunk, nothing's done on from what it appears, nothing's done on my wall locker. It's still there next to my bunk, right? My wall locker. And my bunk's flipped completely over, and my 2 duffel bags are secured by my locks. They can't get into them, so what are they going to do? Cut it open? They didn't cut it open. I'm surprised. My shit's still secured to the bottom of my bunk and duffel bags, and I know where my crap's at. So I start trying to get in my wall locker. There's another combination lock in the wall locker. It's not matching. And I had this brilliant idea. I'm like, hey, I was like, does anybody in the room have problems getting in their wall locker? I was like, raise your hand. So this other guy, he's like, Zook. Or Mac, my maiden name's Mackie. He's like, Mackie, I can't get mine either. I was like, oh, okay, they squished our wall lockers out. So I drug that was my wall locker. They had actually taken the time to drag my wall locker like down in the billets to swap it out with somebody else's. Like, I pissed them off that much. They tried to swap my wall locker out. But I figured it out like in 2 seconds. I was like, what else you got, homies? What else? But I ultimately ended up paying for it because it became a project after that. They're like, oh, Zook or Mackie thinks she's smart. So within the span of like 1 day, I pissed off every drill sergeant there was. And of course, I had an infantry and a sniper drill sergeant because I was like the only female in this infantry platoon. But none of my crap was messed with. They actually did more work than I did that day just because I pissed them off. Not only did they drag my wall locker full of crap, like, down a freaking room, they drug it all the way down the other end and swapped it with somebody else's. So they did, like, a couple movements there with heavy shit because I made them that mad. And I'm so proud of that. But anyways, y'all enjoy that story, and I don't think basic training's that hard anymore, but if it was, you might want to take lessons from the artist here, because I saved myself a lot of time and agony of looking for my shit by thinking outside the box. I was like, I'm gonna use these little combination locks and like secure my double bags to the bottom of my buck, and there's nothing they can do about it. Well, they tried, and then I snuffed the next thing out, and then I ultimately paid for it. But that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. But go dogs, bulldogs. That's our mascot. But anyways, y'all have a good night, and I wish I wouldn't have thought of that story, but there you go. And that's how to sham without shamming. Like, that's using your head right there. There's a couple more basic training stories I'll tell you, but that's one of many. All right, talk to you later. Bye.